Silver hasn't been doing much for quite some time. Yet, we used to hear the predictions about $100 silver. The JP Morgan is going to crash. It's going to crash. Well, I don't think the focus should be on JP Morgan so much as the global economy. That is what's causing silver to just lay flat. And actually all the metals, copper, aluminum, zinc, palladium, platinum, oil. Actually, oil's down quite a bit. The Dow's down. Everything's down. So what is going on? There's actually a global slowdown. So I think tomorrow we might be able to see the new primary manufacturers' data coming out stating what's going on for May. Almost a no-brainer. It's going to be down. No-brainer. Now, I just want to point out too, also, when people are getting into these conspiracy modes about JP Morgan, the evil banksters, yes, I guess the banksters are evil, but, a lot of times, not to be too critical of true religion, but a lot of times people that are into religion are sometimes evil. How's that? Because you could see like what I posted about the Indian temple and all the starving people in India. I don't know about that. I mean, it doesn't jive correctly with me. And you'll notice that with a lot of the religious hierarchy and believers in various systems, how they really are. But what we need to concentrate on is Ben Bernanke's personality. What is he going to do? Now, this is basically a net Dania chart, but it's for only 2 months. It's from the silver low of around December 28, 2011 to the silver high of around February 27th, around there, of 2012. Within 2 months, silver basically went up about 38%, from about 26 and change to 37. If Ben Bernanke hinted about QE, silver would have busted through $40 like butter, like nothing. And then we might have had a margin rate increase sometime in 40-something and brought it down. But if he was hinting for QE, the bull run would have stayed intact. There would have been some hiccups due to margin rate increases. But, it would have continued on its bull run. That's why it was going in a bull run this whole first 2 months of the year. I got to really point this out pretty hard because people aren't really analyzing to what's going on. And, sometimes keeping a simple analysis. Now, I do read a lot of articles, and I just don't know what the hell I can display. So I'm not just talking exactly off the cuff. It's from a lot of things I read for many hours a day. But I know, like, there was a gazillion articles out there about QE coming out for 2012 in the first quarter. Now, obviously, that did not come out. But that's what the market was expecting. So here's my contention. Silver's got to go down a little further before Ben Bernanke, well, silver, not that he's concerned about that, but the markets have to go down further before Ben Bernanke acts. And it's looking like it's getting closer to that point because there is a global slowdown and there's a lot of problems with the banking system in Europe. And you know what? There's a lot more problems with the banking system in the United States too, because a lot of times people have assets on their books and they show valuations for properties and different things, buildings and things like that. Basically, real estate basically is a hell of a lot what's on the banking sector. They're showing it at 2007 levels, early 2007. They're way off. They're way the hell off. In other words, they're just phantom paper assets, if you want to call them that. They're not gonna write those down because then it shows that they have a loss. They're not going to do that. I know this is prevalent all over the place. So there's a lot of problems going on, not only in the European banking system, but it's in the U.S. banking system too. So let there be a slowdown. He's going to do QE, and you're going to see a price explosion like this. In other words, in 2.5 months from the time he opens up his mouth, it'll probably be over 40 and it'll keep continuing. But that's the only course of action they have. There's absolutely, right now, there's absolutely no course of action they got. They're not things are just going to keep falling apart until he prints money. And we know Ben Bernanke's personality. He will print the money. He will. He's going to go do QE3. Now, I know there's an election coming up, and a lot of times during election years they don't want to make the commodity prices too high. But if they're going this low, they don't want the stock market going low too. So we're looking in for a little bit of a spring back here, even though the bottom's not in yet. But I would not put too much concentration on the charade stories about J.P. Morgan. It's a diversionary sideshow. That's all it is. What you're really to worry about is global slowdown, and the way they're going to counteract that is with printing money. That's why the metals are going to be the right place to be. And for now, actually, I think the first one I'll take off is gold. Gold is money. Silver's sort of like a little bit like money, but a little bit more of a commodity too. But it's more like money than any other precious metals that are commodities too. But just keep in mind that the turnaround is going to happen fast. But also keep in mind the cheerleader is going to jump on about $100 silver in no time. That's not going to happen. There'll be a pullback way before 100. And they're going to be setting people up. Actually, I'm pretty wise to the garbage now because I smell scams all the way through, and I'm not just suspicious. I'm dead on certain, without proof. That's the problem. And I wouldn't really want to bother getting proof because it does me no good economically if I accused anybody of anything. I'm just watching out for number one. But I know there will be a pullback well before it hits 100. I know that. And you know, it seems crazy to even talk about silver being just even over 50 right now. But it will. It's going to explode. It's going to explode when they do QE3. And there is no option around it. Things have to unravel a little bit more. I know it's an election year, but they don't want the markets to go down an election year either. So something's going to have to be done. And just factor in a couple other things. I'm pretty sure what the events are going to be. So just hang on and be patient because there's going to be an explosive move in silver. And that's all it requires is Ben Bernanke to open up his mouth. And he will. He will.